Hi everyone, welcome again to Bake Your Way Kitchen. On today's video, I'm going to show you frosted peanuts. Oh my goodness, I went to this place recently. I was in San Francisco for a few days, and I went to this place called Humphrey's Lacombe, I believe it's called. I can't remember off the top of my head. And I had an amazing ice cream sundae. It had frosted peanuts, it had everything in it. And I said, oh my goodness, this is so good. I need to duplicate this somehow. And I managed to find the recipe. So this is courtesy of them, and I will have a link in the description for the recipe, of course. I'm just so excited because I've already made this once since I came back, and I'm so excited to share it with you. And the beauty of this is that it's so easy to make. Maybe that's a little scary, because one of the things about this is that it is super addictive. So if you're going to make this, make sure you have people to support you in eating this. Trust me. You'll see why once you've made this. So to start with, this is a step that you may not need to take if you have already purchased roasted peanuts. I always buy raw nuts because I prefer to roast them myself in the oven. However, if you have roasted peanuts, you can skip over this section. What I've got here is 2 cups. You'll need, regardless of if they're roasted or raw, 2 cups of peanuts, which is about 360 grams. I have a piece of parchment paper. I preheated the oven to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, 180 degrees Celsius. We're going to roast these. I'm going to roast them unsalted for now, and that'll be about 7 or 8 minutes, or until you really smell the nuts and they've developed some color. We'll take them out and we'll get started on the recipe. Okay, so the peanuts are now out of the oven. Now I've let these sit on the counter. They're still a little warm, but I've let these sit on the counter for about 20 minutes because you need to let them cool, because we've got because here's the beauty. There's only like 4 other ingredients here, but one of them is an egg white, and we're not trying to cook eggs here. So just be warned, if you're roasting them before you're making this recipe, make sure to leave some time between when you take these out of the oven, and this is what they should look like, lightly brown. This only took about 7 or 8 minutes, and then you can get started. So the first thing you need to do is preheat your oven to about 250 degrees Fahrenheit, which is about 130 degrees Celsius, and then we can get started. And what I've got here is half a cup, 100 grams of granulated sugar, with about a half a teaspoon of salt. Now, if you use salted nuts, if they're already pre-salted, you can leave that out or add maybe a little bit, maybe a pinch to a quarter teaspoon if you want, but I would start with a pinch and see if you really need more, because you can't take away. You can always add, you can't take away. So add that in to any bowl, any bowl. We're just mixing it quickly here. And we're going to add about 1 teaspoon. You can always add a little more vanilla. You know how I am. You know how I feel about vanilla. We're not using vanilla bean paste here, just vanilla extract. It's just going to be easier for combining. And I've got an egg white here. And just by the way, just a note, and then we're going to mix these ingredients, all of them except the nuts. We're going to add the nuts shortly. I just wanted to mention briefly that if you are separating an egg and you get a little bit of the yolk and the egg white, it's not the end of the world. Ideally, you get just the egg white, but I know it's not one of those recipes where we're creating volume with the egg whites, so you'll be fine. So this is what your mixture should look like. Now the vanilla tinge here, I added a lot of vanilla, so yours might not have this tinge that mine has. But that's all you need to do. And then we just need to add the nuts in here. So my nuts are still, the peanuts that I'm using are still a bit hot. So I'm going to whisk constantly here. And we're going to continue mixing. It smells amazing already. One thing I was going to mention, you could add a little bit of cinnamon, like maybe a quarter teaspoon, half a teaspoon, but I'm keeping this basic. I've got to make sure I get all the peanuts here. Oh my goodness, it smells so good. And with a cookie sheet lined with parchment paper, we're going to add the peanuts on. Okay, so now we're just gonna spread this. Oh my goodness, this smells so good. Oh my goodness. Okay, now this is the next step. So you're gonna wanna spread the nuts evenly. You don't want too many on top of each other because we're trying to keep this so that they're not gonna cling all together when they're out of the oven. Now because of that, what we're gonna do, this needs to go in the oven for about 30 minutes or so. And what we need to do every 10 minutes, so 3 times, 10, 20, and at the last bit, the 30-minute mark, we need to give this a mix. Give the peanuts a mix to make sure that they don't cling to one another. But yeah, so this is going to go in for about approximately 30 minutes. And what you're looking for is for it to really crisp, and to look very crisp. And you'll notice it'll be very toasty, and you will definitely notice the smell. I'll give you a great idea of how it's supposed to look. I'm going to put this in, mix every 10 minutes. After the 20-minute mark, keep an eye. You want to make sure that it doesn't turn too dark. So this is after about 20 minutes, and I've already can tell that the sugar is crystallizing around the nuts, which is exactly what you want. And it's a little tougher to break apart, but it's still not too bad. I just took these out of the oven just under 30 minutes for me. I can tell it's ready because these nuts have the sugar's completely crystallized around the nuts, and the nuts themselves have developed a bit more color, the right amount that I'm looking for. Now we can literally, this goes in an airtight container once it's cooled down, but if you're brave enough, it's still quite hot. I'm going to give it a try. It is so good. I'm telling you. It's too good. Get this away from me. It's too good. I'm sorry. This is very good. Now, stay tuned because I've got a chocolate peanut butter chili popsicle recipe, and we're going to add some of these in. Oh yes, we're going all the way. So these can store in an airtight container for several weeks, and enjoy. Garnish them on cakes. Add them to ice cream. Oh, it's so good adding to ice cream. Ice cream, a little bit of chocolate sauce. Oh my goodness. If you serve that to someone, they will do anything for you. Anyway, I'm going to put this away. Thanks so much for tuning in. Visit bakeyourway.com for more, and I'll see you in the next video.